coming, and thank you very much to the people who have waited as well to squeeze in. I'm really grateful. We had to do all of this virtually last year, which meant we had to do a YouTube live broadcast and I had to wear makeup and everything. So I'm so delighted that we've been able to do it in person, and thanks very much for coming. We're very, very COVID-free at the moment. I'm really sort of hoping that I haven't suddenly decided on a super spreader event, but I don't think I have. We've only had about 4 students in the last 3 weeks, so we've been doing very well by national standards, so thank you for braving it. My name's Chris, I'm the head teacher here. I'm unashamedly delighted with my life. This is the best job I've ever had. I hope I'm here forever. So I will sound very unashamedly delighted with this place. I want to be really clear though that while passion is not something I find difficult when I talk about ESA, I don't believe in perfection. I don't think we're a perfect school, but we are up to something, and if our specialism and what we're doing here chimes well with what you're into and what you're about, then it could be great. So thank you for coming and testing us out. What this is really intended to do is sort of tell you what we are, but also tell you what we're not. Okay? That sounds weird, but actually because you are making a decision, if you're in year 9 currently and you're looking at coming to us at the age of 14, it's a big decision. You're jumping from a school where you're probably fairly well established, where you've got good relationships, where the school knows you and you know them. If you're coming to us even for year 12, you may be coming to us from a school that has its own sixth form, and so again, you're breaking continuity, and we just want to make really, really sure that you're doing that with your eyes fully open to what it is that we offer here. But also, we don't want to be over-promising and under-delivering or coming across like we're offering something that we're not, so I want to be really clear. There are some ways in which we are an entirely normal school, okay? And then there are some ways in which we are really, really, really not. And I just want to make sure that we get that right. So that's really what today is about. So I'm going to start off with the show reel. I want to be really clear about the fact this is not what it is like here every day. But what this is it's a short 1.5 minute, it's a cut together of the productions that we've basically made here over the last few years. And I'll say a bit more about our production, our shoot schedule, our partners, and why it is that we make these kinds of products once you've watched it. Okay. And let's go full cinema. So, we were open in 2013 by Elstree Studios. Roger Morris, the managing director there, opened us to be a mainstream secondary school 14 to 19 provider, funded in the same way that all schools are, but with a very particular specialism, which is to provide training and technical, applied, creative arts knowledge and skills for the TV, film and theatre industry, okay? So if your heart generally beats to the drum of all things aesthetic arts, if you love binging box sets and going to cinemas and all of that kind of cool stuff and music festivals and live events, but you're not just there purely for the entertainment, there's something in you that gets switched on by how have they done this. There's something about you that loves the sound desk, the lighting desk, that is interested in all of those technical disciplines, arts and crafts that are behind the magic, then that's what we're here to be about, okay? When you watch a film, if you stay in your seats afterwards and watch that huge list of 200, 300 people that go up at the credits. That is the unseen engine behind the creative arts. And that's what we're here to really train you in, okay? So this is just a nice fact, but we're literally on the soil of what was the MGM British silver screens. So Stanley Kubrick shot and cut Clockwork Orange and The Shining in 2001, Space Odyssey here. So it's lovely to be on hallowed ground. And now we're working with you as current trainees to work in the industry of the future. So there's kind of a really nice heritage piece as well to what we're up to here. How is our curriculum different to normal schools? Well, we've got a real commitment in this idea of aesthetic learning. What that is, if Ken Robinson is the person I sort of secretly wish was my dad, but don't tell my dad because he's cool too. But I love Ken Robinson. He talks about this thing called the element. And if you are learning through what you love and what you believe in and what you connect to, the learning is an awful lot richer. Time becomes elastic, you'll commit to things for longer, you'll engage at a deeper level, divergent thinking and kind of the neurons fire in a freer way, because it somehow is to do with your identity and your sense of purpose, and you feel like you're doing what you were always made to do. Now, how are we like every other school? Well, we'll nag you to get things done when you're not getting things done. We'll set you homework and moan when you haven't done it. We'll phone your parents if you're naughty. Like all the things schools do. But the way we're not necessarily like a normal school is we're not just interested in making you do subjects for results because that's what the national curriculum requires. We want to know you. We want to know what you're into. We want you to be you and to bring all of yourself. That's why we don't tell you can't dye your hair, and we're not that bothered as long as you don't have things in your face that are so big they'll get caught on camera wires. But like we don't have a problem with piercings. It's not because we have low standards. We have unbelievable levels of hard graft expectation. But we do want you to be you and to bring the reality of your lived experience to how you learn. Okay? So, what does this all mean? This is a video that I'm not going to play you now because I can only be 25 minutes. But if you go downstairs, you can watch this on the screen in the main project space. This was a little poetic montage we made called We the Creatives. And it's really about that idea of being you and bringing you to your learning. No, I said I wasn't going to show it, so I'm not. So. You can see we really love that style of music, don't we? It's everything we produce. Right. So what's our curriculum based on? Well, here's the important thing. We do something here that is what we call our split screen curriculum. It's the idea that there are two programs going on at once in your learning. There is the courses that you select, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And those are specifications, they're syllabuses, they are real underwritten courses. They're either worth UCAS points if you're in our sixth form, or they're worth GCSE average point score value if you're in Key Stage 4. That's where English, maths, science, and the options that you will choose all sit here. And your teachers have got to make sure that you learn that course, that it goes in, that you remember it, and that you perform well either in your exam or your coursework. Here's the thing. Some of you will do unbelievably well at this, but the whole concept of performing above the national average, in my opinion, is bonkers, because a national average, by definition, means some people will do really well and some people will do less well, which is why there's an average. So what we want to be saying here is we're not soft on results. We go really hard after results, and we will really nag you and push you and challenge you and encourage you to get the best results you can. But the reality of results is some of you will be winners and some of you will be less winners, and some of you might even, dare I say it, be called, never by me, but by the system, you failed that course. Here's the cool thing. At the same time as you're learning your subjects, you're learning you. You're learning how you show up to your learning. How to be someone who is confident and curious and creative and collaborative and communicative. And if you really learn how to master your craft and how to, show up to your learning in a true, fully committed, cultured and characterful way, everyone, whether you've got dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, ADHD, AHD, whatever, you can win in this game. And by the way, most creative people have got one of those, whatever they're called, all those various acronyms that we give people whose brains function in unique ways. So what we really want to do is focus on this. So in this school, we're a bit weird like this. We do assess you. We assess you a fair amount, just like every school. And if you're underachieving against the targets that you've been set based on your baseline assessments and CATS results and all that stuff that all schools do, if you're underachieving, we look at why you're underachieving, and you'll do a self-assessment. And you might be underachieving, and whether you're in year 13 or year 11, you might be underachieving because you need more maths classes. Standard intervention, you give them more maths. But actually what a lot of schools do is they just keep stuffing you with more curriculum as though that's going to make you achieve better. And you call it intervention, but in most kids' minds it's a detention, and they've got to go to extra English classes, and they didn't like Macbeth the first time, and now we're making them do it again and again and again. When actually the issue might not be that they need more teaching, they might need to develop some confidence under exam pressure, or they might actually need to become more curious about the cultural context at the time of Shakespeare, or they might need to develop some collaborative learning approaches so that they learn in a study group rather than with the teacher or whatever. So what we're actually trying to do is really concentrate on developing young people, and in doing so, see their grades rise. But it's that way round rather than just focusing on the grades. They should be a byproduct of character development. That's our thinking. All right, here's the stuff that you might have come here for. If you are in year 9 currently and you're thinking of coming to us in year 10, this is the curriculum. This is all online. I'll show you at the end how to go onto our website and access this. And you can actually, on the website, you can click on these subjects and they'll open up and you can see the specification, you can see what the lessons are, and you can get a real good understanding of the course. How are we the same as every school? This top box here, core studies plus your personal development and your well-being, that is national curriculum. That's English, that's maths, that's science, that's personal social health education, that's relationship sex education, and that's PE. And that is a statutory requirement for Key Stage 4, whatever school you go to. So we deliver that the same as every other school. We've got a great English team, go and meet them, good maths team, go and meet them. We do it exactly the same as every other school. In fact, we probably go a little bit extra because we're a little bit worried that when you're a creative media arts specialist, people think that you just watch TV all day or something. And students sometimes come here and go, oh, science, oh, that's the bit I have to do, rather than, hooray, science, that's the secret behind hair and makeup and special effects. So part of what we're trying to do is we go pretty hard. So you'll do 5 hours of each of the core subjects every week. So you'll do English, maths and science every day in year 10 and 11. So that's the same as every other school. Here's where we're different. Most schools are judged in national league tables and by Ofsted according to something called Progress 8. I won't bore you with it because it is really boring. It is the National Performance Indicator. It's a complicated calculator based on how much progress you make from your Key Stage 2 results when you're in primary school. And schools that can show, look how much progress our students have made, come out really high on those league tables. The trouble with Progress 8 is the Department for Education has decided that some subjects count and other subjects don't. So for example, geography, history, humanities count for more than arts in the Progress 8 measure. So do modern foreign languages. So do some technologies like computer science. So what most schools end up doing, because they need students to come to their schools because it's how they're funded, so they need a good Performance 8 measure so that they look good on league tables, they structure their curriculum so that option block 1 will be history, geography, humanities, option block 2 will be your modern foreign languages, option block 3 will be a technology, and so by the time you get to your last option block, you can do dance, art, or music, but you can't do dance. You can't do dance. You can't do dance, art, and music, okay? Because all of your art subjects get stuffed in the same block at the end. What we do, because we don't play Progress 8, is we can give you a free choice of options. So once you've done your English, maths and science for 15 hours a week, really important, you can then pick whatever art specialist-based curriculum really makes you sing the most. Not, well, it might be literally sing if you pick music performance. But what really makes you come alive the most. So you could come here and do costume with game design, with art and design and film studies. So you get a much freer and creative specialist curriculum than if you went to a big school that's playing the whole Progress 8 game. And that's the real way we're different. The good news, where you get 3 choices. You get a really open choice. Bad news, if you're going to judge how good we are based on where we appear in league tables, we are proud as punch to be in the bottom third. So that's not how to judge us. If you are going to look for our performance, and it's right that you do, just make sure you're comparing like for like. What are our English results compared to national English results? Maths, national maths. If you look at Progress 8, we'll look bad, and that's why. Okay. If you're coming into year 12, you'll see there's much more open range now because there isn't a requirement to do English and maths and science as a core curriculum because you've already done them to GCSE. Yes, we have them as A-levels, and we've got the forensic science. I've lost it for a moment, but it should be there somewhere up here. So we still have English, maths and science in our sixth form if you love them, and you should, but they're not there as a compulsory you can pick across the board. The only restriction is if you don't get English and maths the first time round, the Department for Education require that if you fail English and maths at Key Stage 4 at GCSE, you have to keep taking it until you pass it, or at least an equivalent qualification like functional skills. So if you do miss out on your English and maths, then there is an option there to make you resit it. Each column represents 5 hours of in-college learning time. You have to do at least 15 to be a full-time, fully funded post-16 student. So you need to pick at least 3. If you're ambitious and capable, you can pick 4. And so quickly, let's break it down. These are all individual single A-levels or equivalent to A-level. Some of them are Tech Awards, but they're equivalent to A-level. So you could come here and do A-level English, A-level Sociology, and A-level Drama. And that's quite similar to what you can do in a lot of conventional schools, but with a creative edge. These subjects exist as a cross, so you've got production tech, that's your set, your props, your light, your sound, and that is in 2 blocks. And the reason is because they're huge qualifications. You do them for 10 hours a week, but they are the equivalent to 3 A-levels. So they're really chunky, practical, technical qualifications. What that means is, if you came here and said, I'm going to do art and design UAL, I'm going to do that with A-level sociology, you'll actually be leaving with the equivalent of 4 A-levels at the end of 2 years, which is very competitive in terms of UCAS points. Okay. That's probably all I need to say, but go on the website and have a click on them, and then you can actually meet the team, read about the qualification, and get as nerdy about it as you like. Entry requirements. I haven't put this here to pressurise you. If you're in year 11 right now, you have my deepest sympathies and encouragements. You're the first year back after COVID, you're the first year returning to exams. There's a lot of pressure on you right now, and really, really good luck. I don't mean this to be pressure, but we are not a level 2 college. Okay, we only offer, apart from the occasional English and maths resit for students that need it, we only offer level 3 qualifications. So if you don't get 5 GCSEs at basic pass or above, including English and maths, we might still be able to take you, but we might not. You wouldn't get a conditional offer. We'd have to meet you at enrolment and see what you wanted to do. If, for example, you just missed out on maths or English, we could still probably take you, providing you did suitably well in the subject that you want to study. So we ask for 5 GCSEs level 4 and above with English and maths, and we ask for a 6 or a merit or higher in the subject that you really want to take forward. So for example, if you want to do costume, come to us with a 6 in art, fantastic. If you really want to do game design, come to us with a 6 in ICT or something like that, fantastic. But we're looking for something that shows that you've got aptitude, because level 3s are hard. Okay? We do also look at behaviour, attitude and attendance. They're also considered, but obviously it's been COVID. We understand that we need to know you and understand you. It's not a clean-cut thing, okay? But we do need you to be good attenders and to have a good hard graft attitude. Just a quick word then on partners. This is also where I think we're a bit different from a lot of schools. It's in our DNA because we were opened by Elstree Studios in 2013. If you drove here tonight, you might have seen the enormous Sky development that's going up just down the road. So next year in 2022 in April, 8 sound stages will open at Sky Studios Elstree. In 2023, the rest of them will, until there's 14 sound stages, making it the second largest group of studios in the UK currently. So they're right around the corner, and luckily they like us and we like them, so that's really good news. So if they're a lead partner, it means that they actually contribute directly to our curriculum. It means that they're often represented on our partnerships board, and they help us make sure that the curriculum we offer here is industry appropriate and has relevance, so that the pipeline for getting young people to work in that industry has real value. If they're industry link partners, Blackmagic, they give us quite a lot of free training. They also give us quite a healthy discount on the cameras that we use here, and their broadcast quality. We use DaVinci Resolve, which is their kind of ecosystem for post-production, and they give us quite a lot of free training. All of our staff have been through Blackmagic certified training courses, so we know our stuff, and they give us a very healthy, partner-friendly, mates rates discount. Basically, this level means they either provide us with kit, or they sponsor certain students, or they in some way invest in learning programs. And then they're not at the bottom because they're the least important. These guys are brilliant. You'll have probably seen in that little promo, there was a little clip there where you had Stormzy rapping away. We were very lucky. Mobo is one of the organisations we work with. No one knew who Stormzy was when he came here with Mobo and did a little promo. And then a couple of years later, he's like Interstellar. So Mobo have been really good to us. What they basically do is they run something called Mobo Unsung, which is where they give profile to artists that currently don't have record labels, so they're not signed, but they're on the up. So they bring them here, we cut together little live promos with them, and then some of them make it, some of them really make it, like Mobo's, like Stormzy. Some might not, but it means that students are working with real talent on real productions in our studios here. So it's a great opportunity for students to get real industry credible engagements. So these are all people that make products here. Costs about $1,000 a day to hire a studio at somewhere like Elstree Studios, and by the time you've filled it with all of the lights, technical specialism, sound, staging, set, props, you could easily be paying £12,000–14,000 a day to go and do a shoot at Elstree Studios. So we'll do it for free, but then our students have to work on it, and that's how they get broadcast quality content, and our students get to work on real productions. You can see that it's starting to work. We're not proud of this, it's an awkward thing in our industry, but about 70% of the people that work in the creative industries actually got their job because of who they knew, not necessarily what they knew. It's a problem because it means the industry is not diverse enough, and it also means that the workforce in the industry is aging, and that's why there's a skills shortage. So it's not necessarily a good thing, but it is really understandable because it is such a costly industry. They tend to use who they know because they don't want to take a gamble or a risk on someone who's not going to show up or doesn't know what they're doing. So our job is to make sure that by giving you these engagements, you're someone who they then want to employ. So what's quite nice now that we've been here 9 years is you can see some of these labels, some of these idents appear again because students have got the work experience with those companies, and then they've got the apprenticeships or the jobs at those companies afterwards. So it's starting to work, okay? These are some of the institutions that people go to. Obviously, if you're lucky enough to have a graduate that's gone to Oxford, you're an idiot if you don't put it on the board. But actually, we're less bothered about the whole Russell Group competition. We're much more bothered about where are the industry credible training courses. If you want to work in set, LIPA, it's about as good as it gets. If you want to work in, costume, London College of Fashion. If you want to work in graphic design, Central St Martin's. So these are the Oxford and Cambridges of our industry. So those are some of the ones we're really proud of. This year we became a UK Centre of Screen Excellence, partnered with the National Film and Television School, Screen Skills and the BFI. What this is it's a post-18 traineeship, so I'm just sort of putting this here as a, and there's also this to think about. Unless anyone has come who's currently in year 13 and is thinking of coming here in, as an 18-year-old. Otherwise, this might be something you want to think about when you've finished your A-levels. It's certainly better than a gap year. In most cases, university's getting more expensive, not less expensive. That doesn't mean don't go. If you want to be a journalist or something, you're going to need to go to uni. So there are some pathways that require uni, but there are other pathways that don't necessarily. These are the traineeships that you can do. The first 6 are running now. These 2, which is the sound production and the editing, post-production, come online next year in 2022. We take about 10 students onto each course. They're taught directly by people in the industry. They are placement-based traineeships. So you do 12 weeks in college with us, and then you do between 8 and 12 weeks working in industry with some of the partners from the Vocab Collective listed here. So it's a kind of traineeship to get you practically into the industry. We started running that this year for 18 to 19-year-olds. It's fully funded, so it's one of the few free 18 to 19 qualifications that you can do, and you get a craft skills certificate at the end, which is an NFTS, a Screen Skills UK certified industry qualification. There's no entry requirement for that. You just have to be really up for it and talented. It's based on interview, so we look at some of the work that you've done before, show real portfolio, and we talk to you about your commitment levels. The placements can be all over the southeast. You might have a placement in Staines, you might have a placement in, so you have to be really up for it. But if you'll travel anywhere and you want it, then it's a fantastic course. This is on the website. I'm not going to show it because we're out of time. It's also a pretty shameless plug, but these are some of our alumni students. That's Zoe. She's now working at Lifecast, and they are a prop company that basically make all the dead bodies for Silent Witness. And so she basically works for Lifecast and cuts round pretend fingernails and things like that. It's all very creepy. But her story's amazing because that company started making dead bodies for TV and film. The dead bodies they were making for TV and film were so authentic that the NHS approached them and asked them to make trainee dummies for training doctors and nurses. So they started a second company called Lifecast Body Simulation, and they now make dummies for the medical professionals to train on. So she works for them, quite a remarkable company. There's other people in there as well, like Seb, who now works as a drone photographer for National Geographic, amongst others. And they're basically just talking about how brilliant we are. So do watch it, because they're telling the truth. Okay, so I'm not going to show that, even though it's now going to begin, but it is on the website. This is the prospectus then. So this is what you get if you go on our website and click on prospectus. All of the subjects we offer, click on them, it will take you to their page. You can have a look at the specifications. There's even some little videos from some of our teachers talking to you about the subjects. You can meet some of the team. If you click on apply, that won't just take you to the application form, it will also take you to those option blocks that I was showing you, so you can see what fits with what and kind of make your first stage choices. Nothing you choose at this stage is final, but it gives us an indication of which courses are likely to run and which courses are over subscribed and things like that. And that is basically it. So really sincerely thank you for coming. The students that are here tonight have been absolutely sworn to truth. So ask them the questions that you really want to know, and they will tell you what it's like. Like I said, I'm not trying to hide anything. There are ways in which, like all schools, we're constantly developing. But we are up to something, and if you are inclined to really want to embrace aesthetic and cultural learning, then give us real consideration, and hopefully we'll see some of you in September.